My name is Vanessa Cardenas, and I am a betrayal recovery specialist. No one studies betrayal unless they've gone through it, and I went through it. I'm going to turn it over to the floor. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So, first of all, the tip you gave me the last time about the phone calls, how you treated it like when you were eating chocolate, like you don't eat one right now. I just have to say that was extremely helpful. It just helped a lot. I did get into a space where I'm like, okay, now I need to call, but I was able to go long periods of time, and it's causing me to be able to break the habit until I can break it all the way. So that was very helpful versus the young lady's question. People would be like, well, you just got a cold turkey. You just got to cut them off. For us, it's a little bit harder. I think people just don't understand betrayal trauma. They understand trauma in a sense of maybe getting attacked or getting beat up or something, but this is a different type of trauma and you built an attachment. And it's not as easy as a regular relationship. But I was watching one of your things today. I think you did it a day ago, unlocking your future with a positive past.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a question, and I actually put a question under the video, but you can answer it tonight. So you were saying like regret in your past equals fear in your future. And I'm working on handling the regrets, like you said in the beginning, of being mad at myself. I should have missed that, or I should have been done a long time ago. And I'm working on that because I hold a lot of that. But, and then you said, I think you said gratitude for the past, right? Would, I'm trying to find it in the video, but the script is going slow. But I know you said regret in the past will be fear in your future because that regret keeps you thinking about what you did wrong and it just keeps fear there. And the gratitude for your past will show up as faith. So the question I put under the video that I had for you was, you show or have, because you were flipping some things around in there, how do you have gratitude for the trauma or the hurt or the pain? Like, how would you flip that around to have gratitude for it? I know they always say, see the lesson in it. Some people say, okay, that they try to say that was then, this is now. That, what is it that I heard? Like, that doesn't, I went through that. That's something I went through, but it doesn't define me. I try to find all kinds of things, but how would you turn the past into gratitude?
Powerful. Thank you for asking it. This was really hard for me. This relates to the hindsight window theory, and it can be very challenging. Give me one moment to grab something. I just want to grab it so I have it in front of me.
Okay.
I'm usually much more prepared, but this is a wonderful question and I want to make sure of it. So here goes. So the hindsight window theory is the duration of time between a devastating event and the time that you can look back on it and not be charged and look back on it as maybe it was an opportunity, maybe it was a blessing in some regards. And some people have a very short hindsight window. We're going to use a very basic example is they mess up your order at Starbucks. And I wanted something, and you come outside and you finally get to your office and you take that first sip and you're going to relish in that first sip and it's awful. And you're like, ugh. And the quote, devastating event is that you didn't get the coffee the way that you wanted to. Okay. But later, because you're only a 1 cup of coffee person a day, an hour later, you get invited by the boss to go have coffee because she wants to talk to you about something great for you. Now, had you had your cup of coffee, you might have said, I've already had a cup of coffee. And she might have thought, okay, another day then, type of thing. And you might have missed that opportunity. Or, same example, got a really bad cup of coffee. You had to toss it. And then you decided to go back somewhere else, a different cafe, not a Starbucks. And you walk in and suddenly you bump into somebody from high school that you hadn't seen in forever. And it blossoms into a friendship that would have never happened had you had a perfect cup of coffee. So it's those type of synchronicities that happen based on the devastating event. Now, I too struggled with this because when I originally watched the Hindsight Window Theory, I was very intrigued until we got to this point of a devastating event. And I'm like, okay, I've now proven the theory wrong because I've gone through betrayal. Betrayal is the most devastating event. Besides losing a loved one, this is, to me, equally as important because with betrayal, you've lost something. The difference is that person's still here and you can still get your rage out on them because they're still here. Whereas with death, they've moved on and you're grieving, you're still grieving, but you're grieving in a different way. So I thought, oh, I was so proud of myself. I figured out something that disproved this theory. It's just that your hindsight window is really big. And what we're doing is we're trying to get it to the point where we shrink it down and we recognize that there's a gift and opportunity in it. We don't see it right away. We absolutely don't. But when we do, it's a light bulb moment for you. It's a place where we never have that anger again. So I want you to think, just touch on it. I want you to think of another event in your life that was really devastating, that was really traumatic, and where you are now. And think of it in such a way that you almost recognize, I don't want to say that it happened for a reason, because that can be a little jarring, but it can be, this happened to me, and that caused 1 degree pivot in my life that changed the trajectory of my life moving forward. For me, my betrayal was the necessary, and I refer to it as a shove. It was the necessary shove that I needed to step into who I was meant to be. Because I was addicted. I was addicted to certainty. I thought for sure that if I checked off all the right boxes, good education, even though I grew up the way I grew up and I was homeless by the time I was 16, I put myself through college. Check mark. I married my high school sweetheart. Check mark. I had 2 children. Check mark. And a boy and a girl. Check. House. Check. Money in the bank. Check. Car. Check. C-suite career. Check. I was inoculated from anything terrible happening to me. But as it turned out, I was everything to everyone else. I was how everyone else thought I should be. I wore the power suits and I had my hair just exactly like corporate America has it. And I was the PTA mom and the check. I was the image that I thought everyone else wanted me to be. My betrayal that shattered me caused me to step into who I was meant to be. I refer to it like a caterpillar crystallizes. They go into their shell. Now, if you attempt to peel that cocoon open to release it sooner, it'll die. It won't be a butterfly. It has to cocoon in there and come out when it is ready. That's how I felt after the betrayal. I cocooned myself in. I couldn't deal with anyone or anything. And it wasn't until I, as I mentioned, got the necessary help that I needed, I emerged. I am completely different than I was before betrayal. Before betrayal almost doesn't exist to me. After betrayal, I love who I am. I love who I stepped into. I stepped into me, not a version that everyone wanted me to be. Oh, I'll be this way as the PTA mom, and I'll be this way as corporate, and I'll be this way as mom and home and daughter and mother and everything else. I was a different version of myself to everyone around me until after the betrayal, I became me. And the confidence that I gained after betrayal, after discovery day, oh, self-esteem and confidence goes completely out the window. But you rebuild, and you rebuild who you are, just as you are. And it's a beautiful thing. So my hindsight window, I recognize that the betrayal for me was the necessary shove that I needed to step into who I was meant to be. And dare I say, I'm grateful. I was a zombie. I was living a life that I thought was perfect. I thought I had the epic love story. My married life became a process. And I realized it really wasn't enjoyable. It's enjoyable now. I've been married 33 years. Yes, I'm still married to the same man. Yes. But I didn't realize that my life had become hollow until it shattered.
Yeah. And I
So,
guess I'm waiting to see that part because he's only been out of the house 2 months. But long story short, I've had a lot of what they call D days or discovery days. We've been together almost 20 years. And every time I thought we were working things out or he was getting better or we were fixing it, there was another discovery. And then I find out with so my self-esteem, my self-worth, my everything was shattered a long time ago. I've had so many discovery days to the point where recently, the last discovery day, I just said, you have to go. And even though I didn't want it, I would have just went to my grave that way because he was not going to stop or change. He just got better at it. The discoveries were crazier and more thought out, and he just got better at it. And I just said, you know what? Obviously, you're not going to do your part, you know. So it's only been 2 months. And that's probably why I still can't see, like you said, maybe once I really get past it, I can get back to myself, get back to thinking about myself, and then I can see what the blessing of it was. Because right now I just have all of the resentfulness and the regret. And it does bring up fear, but I don't want it to bring up fear. But then I'm not in a space where I can be grateful for it yet. So I don't know what to do with that in between because I don't want it to hold me back.
extremely well said. Great self-awareness, great knowing where you are and where you want to be. There's a wonderful book. I believe the author is Gavin, Gavin. I'll definitely put it in the notes. It's called The Gift of Fear. It's a little hard to read. I'm going to let you know that. It's not necessarily about betrayal, but it's about the gift of fear and how we can step into it and turn it into faith. It might be a worthwhile read for you. The other thing I want to acknowledge, it's only 2 months. I know it seems like a long duration of time, but it isn't. You're going to have moments, and you already have, but you're also going to have moments of resilience and confidence and realizing, wow, it's been 2 months. Is this the longest duration of time that has happened in between the D days, him leaving and him coming back? Or is this the first time that it's a clean break?
There was I left one time during a D-Day, but if I'm not mistaken, that only lasted maybe a month or two. But this is the first time that it is really like we do talk sometimes, but this is the first time it's really like just a break, clean break. We need to figure out what we're doing. And me, I'm not hoping for anything. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm just trying to prepare myself and not hope for anything and find me and live for me. But this is the first time it's really like this serious with the separation with him gone. So it'll like once we hit the 3 month mark, that will be the longest. Because it happened before, but it was short lived. It was
Okay. How's your daughter doing?
she's doing good.
Yeah,
She's doing good.
she's holding her own. You're being
Mhm.
strong for her. You're being strong, Mama Bear.
Yeah, I'm strong when they're around versus when they're not around.
Of course. But you have to allow yourself that. You have to allow yourself to, because you're showing so much strength and it's taking so much energy, that when they're not there, you have permission to feel it. Don't squash the feelings. You have to work through them. You have to grow to be comfortable in the feelings so that they're not fear-based. I fear when I'm alone. I don't like when I'm alone. Oh no, they're leaving. Oh, they're going to the movies or something. I want to fall apart while they're gone. okay, I'm going to allow myself 10 minutes to fall apart. And then I'm going to pick myself up. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to do my nails. It's going to be okay. It's all what you say here. It's all eliminating what I refer to as the nasty chick voice in our heads. Go ahead, call him. See what he's doing. Nah. Mm-mm. I want to focus on me. I want to focus on me. Because when you radiate, oh, you start to attract. You absolutely do. Because you own who you are. Step into yourself. And it's beautiful.
I'm ready for it. It's a journey and hard days, like you said, but I'm ready for it.
Beautiful. I'm so glad to hear that. That is absolutely outstanding and awesome. Keep going. Vanessa says, keep going. And your hindsight window, it's good to know that it's there. You don't have to live by it yet. But it'll strike you one day and you'll be like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, okay. Had I not thrown him out, I would not be X, Y, and Z. Similar, there's a song lyric, turn a different corner and we never would have met. It's a similar situation in your life. Had I not thrown him out, I would be X, Y, and Z, but I threw him out and look what has happened. You've made space. You've made room. Get ready to receive, not pull things towards you, but just open up and receive. I'm going to give you a great analogy about receiving because we're women on the call. Yes, beautiful. BB is a woman? Yes? Okay, beautiful. Here is my example for women on receiving. And it goes way back, past childhood. It goes to the womb. What does the egg do? The egg is released and it sits and it waits. It waits for the fastest swimmer. It waits to receive. I'd like us as women to do the same, to be open, to be there, and to wait and to receive. We can only do that if we have space to be able to accommodate that. We have to be released from the fallopian tube and down the fallopian tube, from the ovary into the uterus, and we wait. We wait for the fastest swimmer, and the fastest swimmer doesn't come. We expel ourselves. We move on. We flow. It's a very interesting, very powerful metaphor, but I want you to remember it. I receive. I have to have space in order to receive. Thank you so much for being on the hot seat.
Thank you.